We are killing ourselves through the food we eat. And the thing of it is today I want to talk specifically about what is real food. What exactly, how do you define real food? Well, to put it bluntly, real food is a single item nutrient. It is not composed of multiple things, and it's the stuff you recognize. It's the stuff that if I set it on this table, my great-grandmother would be able to tell me what I'm eating. It is not monosucranoid, it's garlic. Garlic is real food. Bananas are real food. It is stuff that can be grown in a garden. It can be picked from a tree. It can be harvested from a farm. That is the definition of real food. Eating real food is eating food as close to the way as God intended it as we can. That is what real food is. Real food is also, can be the answer to so many of our medical issues. Real food is heart healthy. You know, one of the big things when the heart issue came along was we were being told, eat your omega-3s. Eat your omega-3s. Everybody in the country is going out and buying omega-3 vitamins. Truth of the matter is, I can even get my omega-3s by eating a piece of salmon, by putting chia seeds in my smoothie at night. And that's true with all of them. It's high in fiber. You can eat an apple. The skin on an apple will give you as much fiber a day as you take in your fiber pill. It is low in sugar. Now I know that everybody says, well, fruit is sweet. Very true, fruit is sweet. But the thing of it is, it's what's called a natural sweetener. Your body recognizes it, and your body knows what to do with it. And it doesn't have excess amounts of sugar. I mean, you're going to have to eat a whole lot of apples to get the amount of sugar I can eat in one candy bar. Low in cholesterol. It is low in trans fats. It is low in triglycerides. All of those things that we are looking for, all of those things that we go to the doctor and the doctor says you need this vitamin, you need this supplement. All of those things that we are making places like GNC rich and famous over, all can be found in your refrigerator and your pantry when you eat a real whole food diet. And those are the differences that we look for. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about in the next 12 weeks. We're going to break them down into food groups, and I'm going to be telling you folks what is good to eat and what is not so good to eat. And I will tell you, as some of those who took my last class, not everybody's going to agree with me. These are the things that real food is. And these are the things that's important to our real food diet. Now the question becomes then, what real food is it? Real food isn't processed. It's not made out of chemicals. If you flip over your box of ingredients and I can't pronounce what's on that list, it's not real food. It doesn't come in a test tube. I mean, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, the food that we eat today in America is not being grown out in our fields. It's being created in laboratories. They are chemically composition items that by miracle are thrown together. Now granted, a lot of them are derivatives of real food. I mean, somewhere way back when, they started out as real food. Most of your medication has an herbal derivative. It started out, I mean, penicillin started out as mold on bread. But we have changed it and supplemented it so much. And the problem of it is even the items that are real, or they supplement real food, such as those wonderful fortified vitamins. I love it when you read a box that says fortified with vitamin A, fortified with vitamin D, fortified with iron. The problem of it is, those fortifications your body doesn't recognize, which means we're taking it in, it's going through our system, and it's coming right back out. That is part of the reason why when we are eating our vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and the doctors are telling us take your vitamin C and take your magnesium and take this and take that, and you're going to GNC and Rite Aid and you're coming out with baskets that look like this, it's because it's not a natural form, and so your body isn't absorbing it like it would the natural form. So what has to happen is you have to take in 4 times the amount to get the amount you need. You may only need 60 grams of calcium, but you're going to have to take in 600 grams of calcium for your body to be able to grab hold of that 60 grams, because the rest of it's just coming right back out. It doesn't recognize it. Just because I sit in a test tube and I go like this and I say, okay, this is vitamin C, doesn't mean that the systems in here are going to recognize them. And that is the problem that we have. That is why fortified foods are actually dangerous, because they're a chemical version of it.
Question on that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, what does it do to your insides when you're taking in all these vitamins and minerals that your system can't recognize and use? What does that do to your organs?
Well, actually, what's ending up happening, and this is part of the problem with the food that we eat, it's actually, a lot of it's just going through and coming back out. And part of the problem of it is believe it or not, depending on the nutrient, I mean, a lot of it you're getting chemical damage. Unfortunately, a lot of our supplements are causing as much chemical damage as the Kraft macaroni and cheese you're eating, because it's all supplement. And the problem of it is too, is one of the big things that we'll talk a lot about in the next 12 weeks is we are in a money-making business.
Oh, yeah.
Everything is about the bottom dollar. And that includes your natural supplements. Because what happens is a lot of your natural supplements that cost money. So what, you ever flip over your bottle of vitamins and you see those wonderful inactive ingredients? Well, those inactive ingredients are what people in my world call fillers. And so what I'm doing is I'm taking the vitamin A pill and putting this much vitamin A in it, and I'm putting filler in the rest of the pill, because then I can sell it to you and I make more money. It's kind of like if I buy this bottle of Propel and it costs me $2. Well, if I give it to you, then it's still going to cost me $2. However, if I take this bottle of Propel and I give every single one of you a cup and I put this much Propel in it and fill the rest of it with plain old drinking water, now I've saved myself money, because then I can charge you the $2 and you the $2 and you the $2 and you the $2, and I've made right there, I've made 4 times my profit. That is the game they play.
Right.
But the other problem that we have is one of the things that the American diet is doing to us, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, it's making us fat. Obesity is at an all-time high. And part of the problem of why obesity is at an all-time high is because we're eating empty calories. See, our bodies know what they need. Your body knows it needs energy. Your body knows it needs protein. Your body knows that it needs vitamin A and vitamin K, and your bone marrow knows exactly what it needs to make your red blood cells. And it craves those things that it needs. But when you're taking in your Big Mac, your French fries, and your large soda, and there's no vitamins in it, there's no minerals in it, and what little bit of vitamins and minerals they say is in it is in a chemical form that my body doesn't recognize, what happens is my body's starving. And so what happens is we want more and more and more and more, because our body is registering something's wrong. My body is registering that I'm not getting the vitamin D my bones need. So it's craving that vitamin D. So we go to the store and our brain says, my body's sending me messages that says I need vitamin D. So you read that label that says on the box of cereal, fortified with vitamin D. So your brain says, oh good, now I can give my body exactly what it needs. Problem of it is there's about that much vitamin D in that box of cereal, and it's not in a form that the rest of my body is going to recognize. So now I've eaten my bowl of cereal, and my bones are still saying to my brain, I need vitamin D, I need vitamin D. So my brain is saying, eat more cereal. And around and around and around and around we go. Because what we're doing is we're taking in calories, we're not taking in nutrients. And that is one of the huge problems we have with the American diet, is it is empty. Processed foods are empty. And I mean I've said it to the ladies in my last class. Most of the time I can go to the store and I can do a thing. If I go to the store and I buy a box of Salisbury steak, it was one of Kenzie's favorites before we were real food, and I buy my box of instant mashed potatoes, and I buy my can of corn, and I take it home and I prepare it and make supper. Might as well have taken one candy aisle and bought them all big bags of M&Ms, because on a vitamin and mineral condition, that's about as much good as I've done my family. There's nothing in it, it's empty. So real food is the simple way to do it, because then you are getting what your body needs. You are getting your potassium when you're eating your banana, and you're getting it in a way. See, God's really good at this. Because he made us and because he made bananas, he was smart enough to know that when I made these two things, I need to make them compatible. And he did. So when you take in your banana at breakfast, your body knows, hey, there's my potassium. And it pulls it out of the food. And it absorbs it. And it does the same thing with vitamin D. When you take in whole milk, and you're getting that vitamin D in the real milk, not fortified, but actually in the milk, now my body says, hey, there's my vitamin D. So what ends up happening is you actually find, and this is one of those catch-22s that you hear so often, is people tell me all the time, I can't afford to eat good. And it is a sad fact, and unfortunately it is a game that the American society plays, because the people who put price tags on things know that we are a low-income nation. We just are. But they also know, Kraft Macaroni and Cheese knows that if I can talk to people who put the prices in, and I can sell you my Kraft Macaroni and Cheese for 50 cents a box, and Annie's Organic is going to sell for $5 a box, I can't afford $5 a box for my family. Like I said, we have 4 kids, and 2 of them are teenagers. And this is what happens, and it is part of the game that you play. But the nice thing of it is, when you eat real food, you don't eat as much, because your body's getting everything it needs. You're going to find that where if I serve cereal, my kids could probably sit down and eat 3/4 of a box. If I make them eggs and sausage, 2 eggs and a piece of sausage, and my kids are fine. My girls are fine. My son may eat 3. We all know Tristan has a hollow leg and he empties it out daily. And 3 or 4 pieces of sausage, but still, they've gotten what they need. And they've not gotten all the sugar, which is the other great benefits. The food that we're eating is making us sick. A couple of the reasons we're going to talk about why processed foods are bad for you. Because let's face it, if it's not real, if it's not full of vitamins, it's not full of minerals, it's not full of all of those wonderful things that we need, what is it full of? Because we're eating something. I know I'm not chewing on air. What I'm eating is high fructose corn syrup. That is one of the #1 items in the majority of 50s and 60s, price of sugar, cane sugar and beet sugar, which is the 2 main ways that we get our sugars. Started doing this. And America's manufacturers said, we've got to find a cheaper way to sweeten food. Along comes the corn industry. And they create high fructose corn syrup, which is basically you take cornstarch and you break it down into its simplest form, which is corn syrup. And the problem of it is then they shoot the glucose in corn syrup full of fructose. And when I say they shoot it full of fructose, I mean these cells are ready to bulge. They're ready to explode. There's so much fructose in it. And you basically end up with an item that's 55% fructose and 45% glucose. At least that's what they claim when they make them to the manufacturing companies. I've seen tests that say it can be as much as 80-20. Problem of it is #1, your digestive system doesn't break down high fructose corn syrup. It doesn't know how. It can't. So what ends up happening is your liver breaks it down. Because our livers are our cleaning system. They're what catches all the yucky compounds. So it has the job of breaking down high fructose corn syrup. Problem of it is these livers are working so hard to break down high fructose corn syrup. What they're seeing is livers that have fatty liver disease, which is the exact same thing that happens to somebody who's an alcoholic. You were getting the exact same liver as an alcoholic from our high fructose corn syrup. Another one of the problems with high fructose corn syrup is your pancreas has the job of making sure that you don't get too much sugar. And one of the ways that it does that is that it sends out insulin. Sugar starts going up, shoot some insulin, bring that sugar level down. Problem of it is high fructose corn syrup doesn't trigger insulin reaction. It does not happen. So your brain is not saying I've got too much sugar. And your body is not stopping that sugar high from happening. Which is part of the reason why type 2 diabetes is running rampant. Because we're messing up our body's insulin system. Because we're putting sugar into our body that it doesn't know what to do with. The other problem of it is too, is high fructose corn syrup doesn't give you that feeling of satisfaction. It doesn't trigger the product in your brain that says, I'm full. I've had enough. I'm full. Don't want any more. It doesn't happen. Which is how we can drink 14 sodas and 15 candy bars in a day. Because the brain isn't getting the right messages.